How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to some big news. We have our next ancient summoning coming, and with it, a brand new hero, the Eternal Duelist Gisele. She's very unique in that she gets extra attack based off her attack speed. You can see they're describing her as a high attack speed and multi-strike attack hero. You might be wondering, wait, there's ancient summoning coming. Yes, they didn't make some big announcement, but you can see hidden away here starting on Saturday, as it seems to always be with the ancient summoning event. And I think it's very safe to say that she will be included in said event. So pretty cool. She's a dual faction hero. Let's head over to the test server now and pop-up, of course a pop-up. Let's head over to the Fastidious test server and let's break down her kit and show a little bit of gameplay. All right, friends, as you can see, we find ourselves in the Fastidious test server. Just gonna hammer home that point. This is not real. This is the test server. But because it's the test server, we get to test stuff out, including the brand new hero, Gisele. So here she is. I think what we'll do is we'll do a very quick breakdown of her kit, of the way I chose to gear her. Then we'll hop into the XP raid stage 8, just so you can see her in action. A proper guide, I'll put that out later in the week, but this is a great first taste of how this hero works and what she's all about. So she's a very nude vampire looking lady. She's the Eternal Duelist. She's got dual faction membership in Chaotic and Nightmare. To go to base stats, quite strong. You can see I fully built her out. 22k HP is very nice, and this 5248 is very, very similar, if not the same, to Arrogance. It's the same as Arrogance, but you can see she's got an extra 5k HP. I think that largely comes from the fact that she is not just a Nightmare unit, but also a Chaotic. They need a nice HP pool, to stand up against all the harm they do to themselves. So let's get into her kit and start talking about the harm that she does to herself. She's got a strange kit. Just right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that. So her talent, dealing damage, inflicts 1 stack of Bloodbane on the target. What the heck is Bloodbane? Let's see. When dealing damage to an enemy with 3 stacks of Bloodbane, consumes 5% of the hero's current HP and removes all 3 stacks, dealing 120% AoE damage to up to 3 enemies near the enemy. So near the enemy she's targeting there, because she does a single target on that move. It's weird. I really don't like it, actually. I tested it out, and at first I thought, wow, we're finally getting like a bloodsucker vampire, like what we're missing with Nyx, right? Nope. From my testing, this 5% loss in current HP is from this hero, not the enemy hero or the enemy units that she's facing. So she just starts killing herself, as is typical of all the Chaotic units. It's certainly a bit of a drag. I was really hoping it'd be a nice form of self-sustain, but she's very much in this way, I think, meant to go into your Chaotic team when you bring those Chaotic support units. Let me show very quickly, like Dasami and stuff like this, that are designed specifically, Dasami, or what's her name, Carnathian or something? Carnelian, that are designed to keep alive these Chaotic units, but at low health. However, as we're going to get into the rest of her kit, I think a big issue arises, because her kit is designed to be a Nightmare kit, to work as a Nightmare unit. So let's talk about that. So I will also quickly point out, I'm so sorry, if we go to details, she's got a nice range here. It's not 1 tile in front of her, it's 2. So this is the same as someone like Scorch. Very nice that you can hide her behind like a tank or a kind of defender. So that's a cool thing. But let's get into kit here. So she's got that basic attack, physical damage to 1 enemy, 120% when you skill it up. I've max skilled her, obviously. Then we go to her first passive. So this is where her kit gets very interesting and very nightmarish, right? Extra attack speed. What is that? Well, the attack speed obtained through any means other than the initial 100 base attack speed that you have. So any extra attack speed you build onto her, 20% of that when you skill it up, it starts at 10, it goes all the way up to 20. 20% of that will be converted to critical damage, right? So I'm gonna break it down for you in a second exactly what I think the ideal amount of attack speed is, based on her specific attack interval. Here we go. Passive Oblivion Strike increases damage dealt to enemies with HP percentage higher than 60% by 20%. So this is something that seems really cool. You know, you might be thinking, someone, I think it was Grim Joke on my Discord, shouted out, hey, she might pair really well with Virna, right? Because Virna at 35% will get her Execute ability, you know, and this will more quickly get the enemy heroes, the enemy units you're facing down to 60%, so you only have 25% to clear until they're in Virna range. That's interesting, but 20% isn't so much. I mean, it's a nice thing, but I don't see an obvious use case for this besides that Virna example. But as I'm going to show you when we go into the XP raid, I don't think it works that well. Let me know if you guys, in the comments, let me know if you guys have any other thoughts on the best way to work with that. Finally, she's got your typical Chaotic passive, something to help with arena. Hers is not a reduction in cost, however. It is increasing damage in the arena by 15%. So she could work very well in the arena. I think she would be amazing in the arena, specifically for AoE and sustained, but when it comes to running a chaotic team, right? I don't think she's going to be particularly strong in other stuff, as you were going to see. Finally, on to the ultimate, Whirlwind Edge. When the ultimate is triggered, keeps rotating for a while, dealing multiple 100% damage to enemies around randomly. The shorter the attack interval, so the more attack speed you put on her, the lower you'll create her attack interval. The shorter that attack interval becomes, the higher frequency that she's going to deal damage. I don't know if this is literally just stating the obvious, that being faster makes more damage. However, if you know, typically attack speed applies only to the basic attack. So maybe they're saying it even is going to apply to the ultimate here. That's what I presume it to mean. And you can see it's pretty low cost, only 700. I think she's a great candidate for like a wisdom set. And guys, you will see that we did in fact choose to go with that wisdom set. So let's go over the gear now. Before we break it all down, I do want to specifically discuss attack speed. I'm going to put a graphic on the screen right now. You'll see she's a 2.6 base attack interval hero. So these are the thresholds it takes to bring her down 0.1 second at a time. I believe 358 additional attack speed is the most realistic thing most players can try to build on their heroes, so that's what we went for. I'll get rid of the graphic now and you can see. So basic attributes, she has a base 2.6 second interval. With the gear, we cut that thing in half, minus 1.3 seconds, to a total of only a 1.3 second interval. So she's gonna be lightning quick, especially when we run her in a nightmare comp. And that's kind of the whole thing, right, guys? I do think she is made for attack speed. The Nightmare Lord skill is all about increased attack speed. When you have 4 units deployed, it's 35% increased attack speed in a multiplicative way. So yeah, it's, you know, you're gonna want that low attack speed to have a higher frequency on her ult, and then also she gets that big bonus of the extra crit damage. So if we look at this build here, we have plus 58% crit damage, not that high. However, we have the additional over the base 100 attack speed. We have an additional 374 attack speed. So we'll just call it 370. So 20% of that is going to be 74. So she's getting 74% extra crit damage on top of this. So what is that? 132% crit damage. So that's a big difference. That's quite strong. We're getting more crit damage from her additional attack speed, her extra attack speed, than we are getting from the actual crit damage we built on her. So I'll just show you the gear very quickly. We want an attack bonus with some attack speed crit rate. I do not have very good on the test gear on the test server. It is very much something I'm focusing on. Shout out to Lucifer, who's helping me farm right now, because my little laptop can't handle it. We got attack speed. I do think for the vast majority of players, until you're at the end game, you will have to go attack speed on the amulet, because that's going to give you 200 attack speed with a mythic piece. It's going to be very hard to get to that 358 number, which I do think really helps. You could go one notch lower, you know, and that would save you. Then you could probably avoid going for the maximum. However, I know with the gear I have on this account, you just kind of got to go for the attack speed amulet, and I think this is the most realistic build I could show other players, like you guys over there. So there we go. Then we got attack bonus with a big attack speed roll, some crit damage. Then here we hunted for some crit, so a big crit roll, maybe the biggest on this test server account. Another nice crit roll, some attack speed, some attack. This is a great piece for her. All in all, these are the stats we are looking for. The wisdom set, by the way, if you guys are wondering, like, why does Fastidious think the wisdom set's great for her? Well, any low rage cost ultimate champion, so like their ultimate doesn't cost much, is going to be a great candidate for the wisdom set, because with the wisdom set, after using ultimate skills, increases damage by 35% for 10 seconds. So she's going to have a very high uptime as she cycles through her ultimates with only 700 costs, triggering that increase in damage by 35%. Just to show you the full stats again, didn't build much HP on her, but like I said, she has very high base HP, so 35.6k. Attack is quite nice. She has like the same as Arrogance, really nice base attack, 16.5. Not on the level of some of the other chaotic units we've seen come out recently, even the dual faction chaotic and nightmare like Valeria, who's at like 6,200, but still pretty good. Defense is defense. Moving on, there's our 1.3 second interval we got it down to. Very nice crit rate. I love going for like 80%. That's kind of the sweet spot I found in my playing lately. So 80% is nice. And then 208, but remember, we're getting an additional 74. So that actually comes out to 282, right? So pretty cool stuff. There she is, guys. I'm gonna give you my first thought now, then you can watch her in this battle and you can make your own conclusion. I think it's a negative that she is a chaotic unit. I think she'll probably put out way more damage when she's with a chaotic lord and stuff, but for her to properly work, you're gonna have to fit her into a full, nice, thoughtful, chaotic team. Most of us cannot do that. And then the way this attack speed kit works, I mean, she really needs to be on a nightmare team, I think, because they're all about attack speed. So I set up a little auto run. Let's just auto fight it and watch it go. There's obviously no power of dominance in the experience raids and the gold raids. Experience raid 8 is like, I just thought this would be a great way to just visualize her animations and what she does. So you can see she's pretty darn speedy. We're gonna get more of our nightmare units out. I'm bringing 𝐄𝐄 and Salazar in here, as well as her and Arrogance. I just thought it'd be nice to feature 𝐄𝐄 again. None of these guys are in crazy builds because none of my gear is that crazy. We are not gonna 100% this. I should have started by saying this. On my first test, I had her at 93%, or had the run at 93% collection. Since then, I increased the attack speed on her because I really do think that's her benefit. But you can see there's that big, it's a huge radius that she gets on her whirling thing from her ultimate. But look how many guys are getting through. Not the best run in the world. Actually, far worse than the run I did myself. I think we had only 14 people or 13 people get through. That time we had about 18. So let's see what the collection was there. 90%, so slightly worse than my initial test, but a good way to visualize it. And if we go here to stats, you can see she very much holds her own. She's at a whole nother level from 𝐄𝐄 and Salazar, as you might expect. These guys don't really have AoE. I mean, Salazar gets his hits that can hit everyone, but he's not one-shotting everyone in this battle, so at least with the build we have on him. But you can see she's kind of holding her own, but there's not some crazy synergy that I saw, especially when I was manually doing it, that was happening between her and Virna. Perhaps with like more thoughtful manual action, you could really get a big benefit, but also like I don't know how many places her and Virna are going to overlap. Overall, I think she's kind of cool. I do not think we'll see what is going on with the Ancient Summoning that starts on Saturday. And guys, that's to me the big news. We're getting Ancient Summoning on Saturday. So guys, off the test server, back on my account, I figured we could wrap things up here. Like I said, big exciting news that we have Ancient Summoning on Saturday. As you guys can see, I have about 12 Ancient Summoning crystals, so not too many. It's a decision that you guys are gonna have to make. I'm gonna say my decision to pull on the Ancient Summoning will be entirely dependent upon who the other member of the 10X is. I think it's kind of a no-brainer that obviously one of them will be Gisele, as I've explained. But you know, with Morgan last time, if it's like a 10X on Twin Fiend, of course I'm pulling. No doubt in my mind. 10X on Venoma, maybe I will be as well. But it's definitely, this is maybe one to skip. Not to be radical here, but I might want to wait another 4 to 6 weeks whenever the next one is. Instead of having 12, maybe have 25 or 30, and hopefully make a bit more of a splash. I don't think I'm going to be pulling Morgan on my 4th Ancient Summon every time, so we got to be realistic there. My final thoughts on her, and like I said, guys, stay tuned for it. Of course, I'll put out a full, proper guide once I've had time to test her more later in the week. But I think she's kind of doesn't fit naturally. I think the extra attack speed screams, right? Let's pull up Torador, right? Let's give you a great thing. Screams Nightmare Faction, Nightmare Lord bonus, right? So if you have someone like Torador or Wrath, when you have 4 deployed faction allies from the Nightmare faction, you're gonna get 35% attack speed. That's gonna be multiplicative off whatever attack speed you build on that unit. So on her, you know, that'd be 35% on top of the whatever 474 attack speed we built on her. So it'd be a ton of extra crit damage, stuff like that. I don't know, I'm just not seeing it because she does basically start killing herself, so she needs to be in a chaotic thing, and I'm not so enamored with the chaotic units as a no spender. Obviously I get the rewards in game in diamonds as a content creator, but like I never can buy ancient summons or do anything like this to go for chaotic units, so I don't have a single one on my account. So it's not like I'm going to pull her and then suddenly be able to build a chaotic team around her. That being said, I will test her out in the guide, obviously in a chaotic team, and maybe she's really gonna shine. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like the video if you like it, share it with your friends, share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.